Grandma's porch. Sit down, relax, and let's chat. Keeping it simple with Diana Brienne. Hold your head up high anyhow. Hello you all, I'm Diana Brienne. Well, we are having this absolutely beautiful day out here today. It's just gorgeous. And I thought I would come on here and talk to you about holding your head up high anyhow. You know, when people go through difficult and challenging times in life, sometimes they're embarrassed. You know, many years ago, this is way before my husband, I had gone through a breakup in a romantic relationship. And I was really embarrassed about it. I really was. I was really embarrassed, and I felt terrible, and my self-esteem was battered. And one of my best girlfriends I hadn't seen in a little while, and she pulled up to the post office as I was leaving. She saw me, but I kind of turned the other way, and I pulled out and I left. Now, looking back in hindsight, I'm so embarrassed that I ever did that, and I've seen her many times since then, of course. And but I think at that time I was not holding my head up high. And I learned from that experience. I learned the importance of holding my head up high anyhow, no matter what you're going through. And I remember one woman I met along the way, and her husband had lost his career. It was kind of a scandalous type of thing. And, you know, I saw her at the supermarket, and she held her head up high anyhow, and I so admired her, and I talked to her, and I was supportive of her, and but she held her head up high. She could have ran and hid, you know, she could have just kind of regressed into her own world, but instead she held her head up high and kept on going. And so no matter what you're going through in life, hold your head up high, not arrogantly. Arrogance is not a good thing to have, but just hold your head up high. Be confident in who you are, believe in who you are, know who you are, that you're an amazing, wonderful person. Hold your head up high. From my house to yours, may God bless you, and I hope to talk to you all soon again. From my beautiful day to yours, talk to you then. Bye-bye. Hard times. Hello you all, I'm Diana Brienne. You know, I believe that most people, if they've lived life long enough, have gone through some hard times. I do believe that. Some people seem to have more hard times than others. Sometimes hard times can be a result of our own choices, but sometimes not. Sometimes things can just happen at no responsibility of our own that has put us through a hard time. It could be a hard time financially. It could be a hard time physically with health. It could be a hard time in a relationship. It could be a hard time in any which way. Hard times come in many forms and fashions. And so what happens when you go through a hard time? Well, a hard time, I don't think most people want to go through it, but I do think that we often learn a lot through a hard time, that when we come out of that hard time, we apply what we've learned to create a better life for ourselves. I've most certainly been through my hard times. I can tell you right now, I remember early on in my life when I first moved to California, I didn't have a lot of people that I knew well out there. And, you know, I remember Thanksgiving, and I ended up going to a total stranger's house for Thanksgiving. Now, that may not sound like a hard time going. It was actually the minister's house, and they were wonderful, and I hadn't even met them yet because they were new as well as I was new. And that may not sound like a hard time, but I've had hard times where financially I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to make my rent. Yes, I've had those kind of times early on. And yes, I've had moments where I went through a health crisis for 1 year, and that's another video I've already done it on. I'm doing super today, doing wonderful, and yet that was a very hard time. What about when my daughter took suddenly sick and had to have emergency surgery about 2 years ago? That was an extremely hard time and a very hard time emotionally. I've been through other kinds of very challenging and difficult times, many probably more than I can even count even count. And so the thing is, I too have been through hard times in my life, so that when I'm not going through a hard time, I savor it, I cherish it, because I realize that hard times can happen in life. And I try to make great choices so that I minimize those hard times. And yet, if a hard time comes to me at no fault of my own, no direct fault of my own in any way, then I just deal the very, very best through it. I make great decisions. I find great support if I can find it. I kind of take life slow so that I can learn, so that I can navigate, so that I can get through it effectively. Hard times are difficult. They're challenging. And yet I believe that if we hold on long enough, we will get through them in life. And like I said, if you live long enough, you're likely to have had at least a hard time or two in life. And I believe that struggles often make us stronger. I don't welcome struggles. I don't welcome hard times. But if they happen to me, I do try to learn from them so that I can apply to my future life to keep my future life wonderful. And I also believe it also, for me, always increases how much I cherish the life that I have when times are good. So don't feel alone if you've gone through hard times. I think most people have as well. From my house to yours, may God bless you, and I hope to talk to you soon again. Bye-bye. Hasty decisions and left holding flag. Hasty decisions left holding the bag. Hello, y'all. I'm Diana Brienne. I got to thinking today about when we make hasty decisions, when we jump into things that we shouldn't jump into. Sometimes we can be left holding the bag. We can be responsible for everything, and the fallout can be all on us. I remember many years ago, some people that we knew, they got involved with five other couples. So they were a sixth couple into a business venture, and it was a pretty nice business venture that they got into, but it turned out to be one by one, the couples all dropped off and just kind of walked away from the investment, and the one couple was left holding the bag and basically went through all of their retirement savings and went through everything, and then they ended up having to close it up anyhow. So they pretty much lost everything over it, and I don't know whether that was a hasty decision or just a wrong decision. Who we pair up with can make all the difference in the world, but nonetheless they were left holding the bag, so to speak. And so we want to make decisions where we're not left holding the bag. We want to make sure that whatever decision we make is going to work out in not just our best interest, but everyone's best interest, or really we should not be making that decision, in my opinion. So a lot of times people make hasty decisions. Oh yeah, that sounds really good, and they didn't go further to get more information before they jump to conclusions and just dived right in. I'm all about diving in, but I'm about diving in once I know how deep the water is, and that I know how to swim, and I know the current and all of that kind of stuff. And yet I'm not going to dive into shallow water or sharky water or whatever. I'm going to be very thoughtful before I jump in. And so hasty decisions are sort of like that. When people jump into situations, they often don't know all the variables that could take place, and then they could be left holding the bag. From my house to yours, may God bless you, and I hope to talk to you all soon again. Talk to you then from Grandma's porch out here from my beautiful day. And I don't have the cord on the camera so I can walk out here. My battery uncharged a little bit ago. Talk to you all soon. Bye-bye. A successful life must have a plan. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne. if you got in your car and you had no idea where you're going, where do you think you would end up? I mean, do you think you're going to just, drive around all day, and you're probably going to waste a lot of gas and get nowhere? So generally, when we get in our cars, we know where we're going to go. We know where we're going to head towards. And so for me, what I do is I try to always map out my life. I always try to plan out my life. It can be flexible. I mean, things come up. We get new ideas, or, we can always tweak it. We can always change our plan. And I believe that our plans should always have a degree of flexibility to it. I mean, if something comes up during my day and I have to change my plans, so be it. And yet I have a plan for that day. And most often I achieve that plan. If we ride around in life or drive around in life and we have no idea where we're going, we're either going to get lost, go in circles, or go nowhere. And so for me, I believe it's important to write down my plans so that I have a map, towards where I'm going in life, and to prepare for that journey or that plan of where I want to go. I would never dream of getting into the car and say, well, I think I'm going to drive here and go there, and I don't know where I'm going to go, unless it's just for a pleasure ride. Sometimes I'll do that. I'll just get in the car and drive around a little bit, but it's because that's designated a pleasure ride. It's not designated for anything else. And so for me, I believe that it's important to have a plan for our lives. We have to have a direction to know where we're going to go. Yeah, sometimes people stumble onto successful things in life, but as a whole, long term, that's not going to work as a good plan, is to just kind of drive in circles in life. And so I believe in having a great plan in life so that we can go in the right direction and not waste time and energy going in circles, and instead going in the direction that we want. Yes, there are times that we'll go in circles. There's been many times in life that I've gone in circles, and sometimes circles are necessary in order for us to discover where it is that we want to go. And yet, for the most part, going in circles gets us nowhere. So ultimately, we want to have a plan, and we want, I believe, to stick with that plan as much as possible if it's right for our lives. And that's how I live my life. From my house to yours, may God bless you, and I hope to talk to you soon again. Bye-bye. Are you having enough fun? Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne. Well, today I got on social media and I jumped on someone's live stream, and they were having such a great time. They only had a couple viewers, but they were just singing and they were dancing and they were so into it. Whether they had a lot of people or whether they just had themselves, they were having a great time. And I thought, you know what? If more people could be like that, if more people could just chill out and have a good time and be happy, even if they're by themselves, or be happy with how many other people that they're with. And so then I went to another channel, and one of my friends, she dances at night and she gets out there on her live streams and she just has a good time the whole time for like 4 or 5 hours. Then I have other friends that come on and they're just chilled out and they laugh and they talk. And this goes on for a couple hours during the day or a couple hours during the evening. And so it really, really got me to thinking about how we should just really, really implement fun into our daily life, whether it's into, just being by ourselves or whether it's being with other people. Now, granted, sometimes we can't just go around and be singing and dancing all the time, especially if we're in a serious kind of job. And yet, I think in a lot of ways, we can be very cheerful, we can be very pleasant, we can have such a positive, upbeat attitude that people are going to gravitate towards us and want to be around us. And so I really think if we incorporate more fun into our relationships, if we're more lighthearted, if we're more playful, I often think in the right situations that we can do so much better. People don't want to be around, somber people all the time. They want to be around people that are cheerful, lighthearted, having a good time. I mean, that's why we go out to discos and dancing and things like that, just so that we can have a good time, we can let loose. And I think sometimes in the right way, with the right situations, with the right people, letting loose and having fun can be one of the best things that we can do. From my house to yours, may God bless you, and I hope to talk to you soon again. Bye-bye. Hold your head up high. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne. Well, I think most people at one point or the other in their lives have been embarrassed about something. Maybe it's a mistake they've made. Maybe it's a mistake someone else they're connected to made. Whatever the case may be. And they really don't want to be around everybody who knows about it because, well, they're embarrassed. They maybe even feel ashamed. Well, I'm here to say, hold your head up high, because I believe that we've all made mistakes. We've all made errors in judgment, or we've had other people that we're connected to that has. And I got thinking about this woman I knew years ago, and her husband was in a bit of a scandal, and she was embarrassed to go out because everybody knew it. And I told her, I said, you go to the grocery store and you hold your head up high. You stand up, you stand tall, you stand proud. And so she did. And she felt so good about herself. And the good people, the nice people, they came up to her and embraced her. And the people that were not so nice avoided her. Well, she kind of got to know who was who. Often in a crisis or a difficult time, we find out who our real friends are. And that's what she did. She found out who her real friends were. And crisis often begins to eliminate people from our lives, the people that really were fake people in our lives to begin with. And often it will bring in people that we weren't even friends with, who will support us. And no, none of us want crisis. None of us want difficult times. None of us want to be embarrassed. None of us want to have, things that are mistakes. Nobody does, whether it's us who made it or someone else who made it. And yet, we need to hold our heads up high. If there's something that you're embarrassed about, a family member, maybe he's the town drunk or whatever, don't be embarrassed for you. You go out there, you hold your head up high, and don't make excuses. A lot of people will just go on and on and on, and they'll make excuses for what someone else did or what they did, and they'll explain it away. Sometimes saying nothing can be the best thing we can do. Yes, there's a time to explain, but also often explaining is not what we need to do. Sometimes we just need to hold our heads up high, stand up, stand tall, stand proud. Okay? From my house to yours. May God bless you, and I hope to talk to you all soon again. Bye-bye. Stop rushing for other people. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne, and I just finished my 5-mile run, and it's a gorgeous, gorgeous day out here today. I actually wore shorts. I wore shorts and a t-shirt to go running in, and loved, loved, loved it. Well, I want to talk about rushing today, and I've talked about it before, but this is with a twist. Don't rush for other people. Often the people that rush us the most are ourselves. We rush ourselves. We put demands and expectations and sometimes overload ourselves to the point that we feel that we have to rush to accomplish it. I often say rushing is simply a life out of alignment. And so if rushing is a lifestyle, it often meets up with mistakes, errors in judgment, overlooking things, sloppiness, and so much more. And as often, other people can rush us too. They can hurry us up. And I don't like to be hurried up. And I think there are only isolated situations where we actually should rush or need to rush. And those are far and few between. So for me, I don't rush. And I remember many years ago, someone invited me to dinner, except they didn't give me any notice. And they said, hurry up, we're due there in 15 minutes. And I was trying to please them. And so I rushed. And I fell down 2 steps and up 2 steps. There were 2 steps down, 2 steps up. And I hurt myself. I was so bruised up on my ankle area and part of my leg and foot. And the bruises didn't go away for quite a while, all because I was rushing and rushing for someone else. So I learned a long time ago not to rush for my own self, and not to rush for other people, because often when that happens, we can make mistakes. And so I've learned to take my time, the right amount of time. I don't go too slow or too fast. I go just right. And like I said, there's very few times in life that we have to rush as a whole. And so if we create a lifestyle of rushing, especially rushing for other people, we can mess up, and I don't want to do that. So I don't rush, okay? From my beautiful day to yours, may God bless you, and I hope to talk to you soon again, and I hope you subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll show you my day one more time. Isn't it beautiful? Talk to you all soon. Bye-bye. Everyone has a story. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne. Well, I got to thinking today that everyone has a story. Everyone has a past behind them. And often when we first meet someone, we often don't realize that they too have a story just like we do. As relationships grow and develop, often we get to understand that story better. People share bits and pieces of where they've been in life, their challenges, their obstacles, the things that they've overcome, their great experiences in life, and their blessings. And yet, when we first meet somebody, we most often do not know those aspects about who they are. That can take time. And so I believe that relationships often have to unfold over time for us to fully understand and appreciate what they're all about. I know when I meet somebody, I look at them and I say to myself, that person has a story. I wonder what their story is. You know, I can guess, I can imagine, and yet until I get to really know that person, I'm not going to really understand their story, because everyone has one. And often people are not like a book where the cover reflects their story. Often people hide their stories. Some people don't want to talk about their stories. Some people are very proud of their stories. Some people share a little bit, but not everything. I think, you know, people as a whole share some of their stories, but often people don't share all of their stories, nor should they, in my opinion. It's a personal choice. If a person wants to share their story, that's great. If a person doesn't want to share their story, that's fine too. But the more we share our stories, the more likely we are to be understood. And I believe that when we share our stories and our journey in life, often we provide healing for our own selves, and also sometimes we provide healing for other people. Many people can identify with our stories and what we've been through. Some people cannot. Some people won't approve of your story, and other people will embrace your story. I always say, if someone cannot embrace who you are, then find someone who can embrace who you are. Because we all have got a story, and we've all been through things, and we all have a present, and most people are dealing with present day problems, present day issues, and that's just a fact of life. And so always remember when you meet someone that they too likely have a story, and it may be similar to yours, it may be different, but they do have a story. Today I was talking to someone, and I'd never really met them before, but they began to share a little bit of an experience that happened in their life. And I would have never known that. I would have never even thought about that, just upon meeting them, that they had had that piece of history to their life. And so we have to remember that when we meet someone, there is really no way that we will know what their story is unless they choose to share it. But always do remember that everyone has a story. From my house to yours, may God bless you, and I hope to talk to you soon again. Bye-bye. Dysfunction, Junction, and the crazies on YouTube. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne. Well, I am a sweaty mess. I just got in from the gym. I did a 3-hour workout, an hour of aerobics, an hour on the elliptical at a very high level, and an hour with the machines. Normally, I add to that my 5-mile run, but I didn't get it today because I had a lot of schoolwork. As many of you know, I went back to college last semester, and I'm taking this semester 16 credit hours of more of advanced courses. At least they're advanced for me. And so it requires a lot of my time. But I make sure that I get my workout. So as soon as I finish the video, I am going to go take a bubble bath. Then we're going to sit down to a late dinner. And my husband went out and actually got some takeout food. So we're going to sit down as a family in a little bit. But I wanted to talk about, for the moment, about Dysfunction Junction on YouTube. You know, as it is in the real world, people come in all shapes and sizes. And I think the majority of people are absolutely amazing and wonderful, both in person and on YouTube. And yet, on occasion, in person or on YouTube, I'll meet what I call crazy, or somebody who's really dysfunctional. At least they present themselves as dysfunctional. So yesterday I stumbled onto someone's channel and I hurried up and got off of it. And it was all about chaos. It was all about drama. It was all about negativity and bickering. And, you know, I guess it draws in a lot of views when people promote that. I don't know whether it was authentic or if it was fabricated or a little bit of both. I have no idea. I just know that I'm not drawn to channels like that. And if anyone from a channel like that comes onto my page and tries to bring that onto my channel, I block them immediately. Because my channel is about positivity and living your best life and being your best self and striving to meet your goals, your visions, your dreams. And you can't do that if you're living in dysfunction junction. And, you know, as in the in-person life, as well as the virtual life. And the virtual life is a real world, the same as our in-person. It's just a little bit different. And I meet so many wonderful and amazing people on YouTube and on other social media sites. And I have many friends in the virtual world. Some I know in person and some I've never met, but they're wonderful in my life. But on occasion, like I said, even in person, I will meet somebody who is living like a train wreck or a potential train wreck going to dysfunctional junction. And I simply avoid those kind of people. I get away from those kind of people. I believe that we can love people, even if they're a train wreck in the making, but that doesn't mean that we have to be part of that train wreck or part of that dysfunction. So for me, when I see dysfunction by choice, I get as far away from it as I can and go the other way. In virtual land, you can block people. And in person, it can be a little more difficult and challenging, especially if you work with them, go to church with them, they're a neighbor, or even a family member or relative. It can be more challenging. So we handle dysfunction differently, I think, with each kind of person we come in contact with. If it's somebody that we love, sometimes we have to step back from that relationship, but we do it lovingly and we let that person know that we love them. Other people, you know, we want no part of. We don't even want to be around them. You know, everybody's different, and this is how I live my life. I never promote anything. I never suggest anything. I never give advice. It's just the way I live my life and the way I see my life. So for me, dysfunction is not something that I want to be around, and it's not something that I want to view. I don't want to go on someone's channel and see all this bickering and chaos and pandemonium and, you know, fighting and bickering between channels. To me, that's ridiculous. There's enough room for all of us here on YouTube and other social media sites, okay? Well, I thought I would talk about Dysfunction Junction for a moment and how I don't want any part of it, okay? So if you come on my page, be nice to everybody and we'll all be nice to you. And, well, I've got to go take my bubble bath so we can sit down to dinner. And I wish you a wonderful day, a wonderful evening, a wonderful week. May God bless you. And I hope to talk to you all soon. And I hope you subscribe to my YouTube channel. And so from my house to your house, God bless you. And I'll talk to you then. Bye-bye. Dream setting for 2020. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne. And I thought I would come on here today and talk a little bit about dream setting. You know, for me, dream setting is different than goal setting. I do both. I have a list of goals and I have a list of dreams. For me, a dream is bigger than a goal. Usually with a goal, it goes from point A to point B and how to get there. With a dream, it's usually a bit bigger than a goal. And so I have two sets of lists. I have a goal list and I have a dream list. And then underneath each goal and underneath each dream, I have a plan on how I intend to get there. That plan is always flexible and the timeline is always flexible, although I usually put down a time when I would like to have had already achieved it or like to achieve it by. And so I believe in having goals. I believe in having dreams. And I also believe in cleaning up from one year before we go into a new year. It could be cleaning up my goal list. Maybe certain goals I've achieved and now they're done and they no longer need to continue on. Some goals continue from year to year. Some dreams continue from year to year. And some goals just need to be maintained. Some goals and dreams need to be nourished continually. I believe that relationships that we once dreamed about, that we obtained in our life, that were very, very important to us, and we keep them in our lives ongoing, such as a marriage, family, relatives, great friendships. Often we need to continue to nourish those from year to year to year so that they don't diminish in any way, so that they continue to flourish. We want the good things in our lives to flourish. And so that takes our energy and our time and our focus. But we only have so much time, energy, and focus. And so it's important for us to give it to the right goals and dreams in our lives. And many goals I've achieved, but they continue on. So I continue to nourish them as I go. My family is extremely important to me. My marriage, my children, my family, my friends, my relationships are so valuable to me that I continue to nourish them accordingly as I go. I just don't put them on hold or put them on maintenance and let them just kind of be there and go focus on something else. When I take on a new dream or a new goal, that requires my time and energy and focus. And sometimes I have to temporarily shift some of my energy and time and focus from other areas and to initially focus on getting whatever it is that I want started. And so it is important to not overload our goal list or our priority list or our dream list. So I keep mine to a minimum and I put on there the most important things. And then I have a list that I often call the everything else list. It's when I have time list. And I do those things when I have time and when I have the focus or the energy or the ability to do those other things. For example, I love to go to movies, and yet it's not on my priority list. It's on my when I can get around to it list or when I have time to do it list. Okay, so my family is number one. My health, my fitness is number one. My going to college at 62 years old is number one. They're all number one priorities on my top priority list. Going to a movie, going antique shopping, even going out to lunch with friends, is not necessarily on my priority list. So for me, I have a priority list and a non-priority list. And everything is flexible. My goals are flexible, the timelines are flexible, the plans are flexible, but I do write them down because writing them down gives me a sort of roadmap in my life to get to where I want to go. And when I wake up in the morning, I have it by my bed and I look at my goal list, I look at my dream list, I look at my plan list, I look at my how-to-do list, and it really helps me to navigate towards my goals, my visions, my dreams. And so, it's really important to write down my dreams and my goals and my plans. And I think also it's great when we are ending one year and starting a new year. It's sort of like having a clean slate, even though we're bringing similar goals or same goals and dreams over into the next year. Often we're also setting new ones if we have room for them. And I believe that it is just so important to clean up the things that no longer belong in our lives. Perhaps we went to a certain restaurant all the time, and now we just don't really want to go there. And so we just quit going there. We decide that it's not right for our lives anymore. It's important to determine what's not right for our lives so that we can leave it behind in one year and move on into the next year if it's appropriate and right to do so. And so, for me, I clean up one year, I look back, and I say, wow, look at what I've accomplished, and look at what I intend to accomplish in the next year. And I don't put demands or pressure up on myself with a goal list. And that helps me to relax and to enjoy the journey, because it is a journey. And, to put demands and pressure up on oneself can take the fun out of just, everything. And I don't want to do that. I like to keep life happy, and I like to keep it fun. So even like here, building my YouTube channel, it's fun for me. This is a fun experience. I'm getting to know some new, amazing, and wonderful people, and I'm learning a lot. I'm learning a lot as I go. So I thought I would share my thoughts about dream setting for 2020, and I wish for you a wonderful and amazing 2020 and all the years to come. From my house to yours, God bless you, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. My ducks are in a row, getting organized and going back to college at age 62. Late night, getting all my ducks in a row. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne. Well, I'm kind of winding down for my day. It's late night here, and most of my family's in bed. My one son is still up a little bit later than usual. And I have been very, very busy today, and I am getting ready to take my bubble bath. But I thought, well, I will come on here first and make a video. Well, today was a busy day, and I did get my fitness in. I got my 5-mile run this morning, and then later in the day I went to the gym and I did an hour on the elliptical, and I did 45 minutes of aerobics, which was a cardio burn, kind of high intensity. And normally I work out on the machines as well for muscle strengthening. And so yeah, I got a great workout. And then on the way home, my oldest son called, and he said, Mom, let's go get some groceries for him. All of my kids have, they all kind of eat, they eat what I cook, but they all like their own particulars. Like my oldest son likes certain snack food. And so I said, okay, I'll pick you up on the way home. So I picked him up, and he was waiting for me at the end of the driveway, and I picked him up, and we went to the store. And I love this one particular store. I have several stores that I really love, but believe it or not, one of my favorite stores is Aldi's. Aldi's or Aldi's. Their prices are super good, but they are so organic. And now they have a lot of vegetarian, vegan food choices, and I love, love, love it. Now, we live in kind of a small area, and so finding vegan choices is not easy, or vegetarian choices. And so I have to really look, but Aldi's really has some great things out there. So we went there, and we got all kinds of wonderful foods. And then, so on our way home, my son said, hey, Mom, I want you to meet my boss. Well, all three of my kids have part-time jobs, and they go to college. And I hadn't met his boss before. And so I said, oh, I'm kind of dirty from aerobics and everything. He said, I don't care, Mom. He said, I want to introduce you. So we went in, and I met his boss and talked for a little bit. And that was really nice that my son, wanted to introduce his mom to his boss, and that he was proud of me. So that made me feel good. And I really do enjoy my time with my kids. My kids and I are really close, and they're always calling me if I'm out and about, or if they're out and about. Hey, Mom, what's up? What's going on? And they have their own fun life and the things that they do. And my youngest son's very much into sports, and he loves to go to sports. And he works at the same gym that I work out, that my husband and I work out. And so, I'm just really close with my kids. I have a great relationship with them. And they're all young adults. One is still a teenager and, 19. And the other two are in their very early 20s. And they do live at home. And so I have just a really close relationship. And I do different things with them. Like we went bowling this week. We go bowling a lot. And we just do fun things, simple things, play board games together, stuff like that. And so, each one of my kids I just do different things with, but I love to go grocery shopping with them. It's always a lot of fun. And so we did that tonight. And then I came home and I thought, next week my life is going to get so busy because I start back to college. And it's my next semester, my second semester, and I took 16 credit hours. I'm scheduled for 16 credit hours of, kind of really hard courses. And an hour away, I have to drive an hour to and an hour from. And suddenly, on Monday, my life is going to be so busy for the next many months. And I chose that. It's my choice. And I'm excited, apprehensive, ambivalent, all of that. It's sort of like getting on the diving board and right before you go to jump off into the deep water, you think, do I really know how to swim? And look how deep the water is, maybe I can turn back. And so I have all those feelings, but actually I'm very, very excited. And I know it's, going to be a big learning curve for me. And, 40 years I've been out of college. And going back at age 62 was really something, when I started back last semester. And so I'm excited. My kids go to college. I'm going to college, and I'm forever an eternal learner. And I'm not going back for a career move. I'm going back just to be an eternal learner. And it's an additional purpose to my life. I have many things that I love to do. I'm an artist. I write, I exercise, I run, I dance. I love to go and look for antiques. I have friendships, I have my family. My family is number one, my children and my husband. That's my number one priority, even before college, even before all the other things. And so I have my priorities in order, and I try not to ever overload myself, although I'm going to be very, very busy, but I'm very scheduled, leaving flexibility in there as well. I don't rush, I take my time, but I am very scheduled. And so I'm excited. A lot of things are going to have to kind of go to the side for right now. I may not have a perfect house. There may be dishes in the sink. The beds may not get made, that type of thing. But that's okay. Those things are not really so important. And so tonight I came home and I waxed my floors and organized everything. Well, everything was organized anyhow, but it kind of, touched it up. And I polished my furniture. So I'm really good to go. I've got all of my ducks in a row, and I'm ready for college. I'm really ready to, start. And so I think when we get our ducks in a row and when we're organized, it makes everything so much easier. It makes when we step out into something new so much easier. And so I think it will be. I think it will be a lot easier because I'm organized. And I'm going to enjoy the journey. I'm not going to be apprehensive about it. I'm not going to be nervous about it. I'm just going to take it as it comes, go with the flow, and enjoy this journey. This is a journey. I'm in no rush. I took a lot of courses because I ended up with a scholarship, never dreaming that I would get a scholarship at age 62. So I have a scholarship, and the way the scholarship works, I kind of needed to max it out, hours-wise, class-wise, and so that's why I'm taking a lot more courses than I normally would. But I'm excited. And being organized really helps this big, big transition or big going back to college, it really helps me, I think, to do so much better because I am so organized. And, you know, I have a great family. They're supportive, and they're supportive of mom going back to college. My kids tell everybody, my mom's in college. And they'll say, well, how old's your mom? She's 62. So yeah, I'm back in college at 62 years old. Who would have ever thought? And I love it. I love it. You know, I have a very filled up life, and I fill my life up with the things that I love. And so, you know, this is just one more thing that I love, and I'm not going to rush it. I'm going to savor it and enjoy it. And I take my time. I take my time, and I enjoy learning, and I enjoy the people that I meet, and I just have fun. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. So I better go take my bubble bath because I've got wax all over me, and I'm still kind of dirty from my workout and aerobics. So I'm going to take a nice bubble bath and relax. And, you know, I kind of have some different little programs that I watch. And I don't watch TV really hardly at all, but I do have a few programs through the internet that I watch, and they're usually wisdom-based, motivation-based. And so usually I will watch something like that, or I will read something, or I actually read my own notes. I read my own writings, and you know, I do. I really enjoy sometimes just reflecting back upon what I have written. So I hope you're all doing wonderful. I hope you're having a great week. I hope you're pursuing your dreams and your best life. And I hope you're happy. And I hope you subscribe to my channel and my YouTube channel here. And I hope to talk to you all soon again. I don't know how much I'll be on once I start school. I do believe that I will be on pretty much the same as I always am. And, you know, it may be from the, you know, driving. You may get driving videos because I have one of those car camera holders as I'm driving. I'm very focused on my driving, but I can still talk. You know, I can still talk. And then when I come home, I can download it, and you'll get all my thoughts and ideas and what I'm thinking about, and we can chit chat. So yeah, so life is busy, life will get busy, and it's all good. So keep your ducks in a row. It makes life easier, and I hope to talk to you all soon. God bless you, and have a great day. Good night. Why I changed what I eat. Why I changed what I eat. Hello you all, I'm Diana Brienne. Well, I am sitting out here on my back screened-in porch, and it is absolutely a gorgeous, gorgeous day. And I did my 5-mile run, and it was terrific. And yes, I'm 62 years old, and I run 5 miles a day. Some days it's a power walk, some days it's a walk, and most days it's a run. And some days it's a little of both. You know, it just depends on the day and the weather and everything like that. But I'm out there. And normally I go to the gym 7 days a week, but since I started back to college and I have so many things on my plate, I've had to kind of refine my daily commitments. And so I always make sure that I get physical fitness in each day, but to the degree I did it before, sometimes I don't do quite the level that I did before. Yesterday I did my 5-mile run, and then I did the elliptical at the gym for an hour on level 16, which is pretty high, and then I did all the machines. Other days I do the aerobics and the machines and the elliptical and my run and all of that put together. I also dance at home, I close my office door, put some music on, put some stilettos, and I dance because it's great exercise. So I'm into physical fitness, and yet I'm into what I eat being correct. I want to make sure that what I'm eating is really the right things to be eating. And about a year ago, I went vegan. Now, I don't suggest anything to anyone. I'm just saying what works for me. For years, I've been juicing, and I mainly juice celery juice, but I went vegan a year ago. So now that doesn't mean that when I'm out and about that I may not have fall off the wagon a little bit and have something non-vegan, or if I go to someone's house and they're serving something that's non-vegan, I'm not so religiously vegan that I can't have something else. But at home, I'm primarily vegan, and I chose to do that because for me it works. It seems to work. And so my physical fitness, eating healthy, I changed what I ate because, well, I felt that it was the right thing to do. I want to eat healthy. I want to be alert and aware of what I put in my body. I don't like a lot of processed foods. I don't like refined sugars. I don't like hydrogenated anything. And I'm trying to stay away from meats as much as I possibly can and meat byproducts. And so, for me, that is what works. I think everyone has to find out what works right for them. Everyone is different. Everyone has a different body. And so what might work well for me may not work well for someone else. But I do feel that what we do eat does have a direct correlation to our health. And so at 62, I've seen a lot of my friends not do so well. And I don't want to be like that. I want to be fit, healthy, and I want to go forward for many, many more years if possible and live a wonderful, fabulous life. And in order to do that, I need to be healthy. So I do focus on health a tremendous amount. I also make sure I'm rested, that I get plenty of rest. And I make sure to keep a good attitude. Attitude is so much of it. Keeping a great attitude and keeping goals. I have goals and dreams and visions, and I feel like one should always have something to look forward to. And it gives us energy. It gives us an excitement, being excited about life, even if it's just the excitement of going to the gym. And as you all know, I went back to college at age 62. And a lot of people said, why are you going back to college at age 62? Well, I'm an eternal learner, and I love having a purpose in life, and I have a lot of purposes. I have a family that is my divine purpose. I'm an artist. I write. I have a lot of wonderful purpose in life. And yet I added one more, and I felt that it was the right thing to do. I felt led to go back to college. And I love doing that. It gives me additional purpose. So I think purpose is very important, something to look forward to. So yes, I changed what I ate and what I eat because I want to eat healthy. And that's the most important. I try to stay organic if I can. Not always, when you're eating out and about, can you stay organic? But I try to stay with organic as much as I can. And I do drink a lot of healthy water. Well, from my house to yours, may God bless you. And I hope to talk to you all soon again. And I hope you subscribe to my channel as well. Talk to you all then. Bye-bye. Eaten poor sure is delicious. Cooking poor is really delicious. Hello, y'all. I'm Diana Brienne, and I'm sitting in Grandma's parlor, 100-year-old sofa. This is a 100-year-old sofa I'm sitting on, and this is the parlor in my house, Grandma's parlor. And it's also kind of a dining room too, dining room parlor together. So after we eat at the dining room table, we come over and some of us sit here on Grandma's sofa. So I wanted to talk to y'all about eating poor and how it can be delicious. You know, growing up, I was poor. We were poor people. We had 3 classes of people in our little southern-like town. We had the rich people, which really weren't all that rich, but they could buy a new car every year, usually a Chevy Impala. And we had the poor people, which was us, and we had the dirty necks. Now, the dirty necks were always looked down upon by everybody, and the rich people looked down upon the poor people and the dirty necks. So, and we all wanted to be the rich people. So next door, we had the rich people, and we were the poor people in the middle, and then on the other side of us, we had the dirty necks. Well, the dirty necks trash would blow over into our yard on any windy day, which was not good. And, but anyhow, I became best friends with I was 5 years old, and he was 6, Kirby, if y'all remember that story. My friend Kirby, who used to play with baby dolls. Anyhow, Kirby and I became friends. He was the rich boy. And, you know, like I said, rich back then, you know, was not rich like it is now. I mean, you know, it was small town rich. And anyhow, we grew up poor, so we had to go get commodity boxes off the courthouse steps because there were no food stamps back then. And we would get like flour and eggs, maybe a little piece of meat, usually that treat or Spam or whatever it's called, that canned meat, which wasn't very good. Green tomatoes. We always make green tomato sandwiches and fried pickles. Oh, I love fried pickles to this day, and I love fried green tomato sandwiches to this day. And so eating poor can be delicious, and it can be healthy too. And so not all eating poor is macaroni and cheese. And like they say here in the South, people say macaroni and cheese is a vegetable. I don't agree. So let's go into the kitchen because I think the lighting is a little bit better. And like I said, that's Grandma's sofa right there for those of you that haven't seen it. And that's the front porch out there. So anyhow, eating poor. You know, so growing up, well, my first apartment was $9 a week. I was 17 years old, got an apartment. It was like a little efficiency apartment in this big old mansion that was a big old kind of haunted house mansion, and they turned it into like little mini apartments, and it was for old ladies and ladies of questionable values, and I was neither. I was just 17, told him I was 18, and I got me a job, and I was the head hostess, and I wore platform shoes, a mini skirt, and big hair, of course, and yeah, I did. And polyester blouse. Remember the polyester? And, but anyhow, and my shoes cost $1. They were kind of like rubbery high heels, and I would wear those. I thought I was just really something, with a midi, and maxi coat. So when it got cold, I had a maxi coat. When it got warmer, I had a mini coat. And I had hot pants too. So anyhow, but I remember living in that apartment. I only had $1 to feed myself in 1 week. So I went out and bought me a thing of grits, and I made a big pan of grits, let it harden, put some butter in that pan, and then I sliced it, and I dipped it in flour, and I fried it, and I made some homemade syrup out of brown sugar and water and butter. And it was so delicious. It fed me for the whole week, and it actually fed some of the ladies of questionable values as well. They would come over to my little apartment. So that's a whole nother video if you missed that story called, I think it was called My First Apartment. You got to listen to that one about the man in the trench coat under the lamppost. Oh my goodness, that was really a story. So go back and look up that one. So anyhow, eating poor. So, you know, I still eat fried green tomatoes. Very cheap, very inexpensive. You can grow them in the garden. I still eat, and I just fry those a little bit and dip them in flour. Oh, they are so good. Fried pickles. Get those little round pickles and you dip them in flour and you fry them. Oh, they are delicious. I don't know how healthy they are, but they are so, so good. You dip them in ranch dressing. And, you know, French toast. Bacon and eggs, you know, even if you don't have any bacon. I don't eat meat. I'm a vegan, but, you know, my family does eat meat. And let's see, bag of potatoes. Oh my gosh, you can do so many things with a bag of potatoes. It's endless. You go to Aldi's and it's $3.49 for a 10-pound bag of potatoes. And I make potato soup, I make potatoes au gratin, I make scalloped potatoes, I make soups. I make all kinds of things with potatoes and flour. My mama made the best homemade noodles you'd ever imagine. They were fantastic. And she made homemade nut rolls too. Best fried chicken. Grandma made the best fried chicken. Oh my goodness. She'd get those little pieces of chicken, just tiny little pieces, little drumsticks like, and she'd fry them, take all day frying them. Oh my gosh, they were the best chicken in the world. My mama made the best bacon and eggs in the world. Best bacon and eggs ever. And she always kind of burned them a little bit, but they were so good. Oh, I miss them so much. And so yeah, eating poor. You don't have to spend a lot of money to eat. Now, of course, I eat healthy, so I don't eat all that stuff anymore. I don't do fried because it's not good for you, from my understanding. But I love it. I love it. If you made me some fried pickles, I'd probably eat a bunch, and then I'd probably say, oh, I shouldn't have done that. But I would eat a bunch of fried pickles. I really, really would. I love fried pickles and fried green tomatoes. Put that on 2 pieces of toast with butter. Oh my gosh, eating pork is delicious. I still cook all these foods. I still eat pork. I love it, love it, love it. And I do a lot of grits. I do cornbread. I love to make cornbread, and I love to make chili. So, you know, you don't have to spend a lot of money to eat well. You just have to be willing to piece it together and cook it. A lot of people want instant everything, and that didn't work for Grandma. She never had instant anything. It took all day to cook, but it sure was delicious. Well, from my house to yours, may God bless y'all, and I'll talk to y'all soon again. Bye-bye. People are different than each other. Personality differences. Everyone's personality is different. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne. You know, sometimes we don't understand other people because, well, we might not understand that they have a different personality than us. We often relate to people from our own personality, from our own attributes, from the way we see the world. But what we've got to realize is that other people may not see the world exactly as we do. Some may see it similar, but not exactly because, well, we're all unique and we're all different. And we all have different perceptions of the world around us, how we relate to the world, because we've had different experiences and we have different makeup than other people. And so sometimes it's much harder to understand someone when we are trying to relate to them from our own perspective. When we relate to them knowing that they have a different personality than us, that they see the world differently than us, that they have different ideas than us and different opinions than us, often we can do so much better in a relationship. I realize my husband is not the same as me. He has different interests, different ideas, different personality than I do, but we merge together perfectly because we respect each other's differences as well as similarities. So I believe in order to get along well with other people in life, it's important to understand that they're different than us and yet they're similar. And so when we realize that, we can often take a look at life from their perspective, not just from our perspective. And often that can give us a deeper understanding of who they are and how they relate to the world. Yes, it's important for us to have our own perspective, our own opinions, our own ideas, our own personality and our own way of handling things. And yet it's important that we understand other people have the same rights as we do, in the sense of having the same personality or having a different personality than we do, or having different attributes than we do. And so when we respect that, often we can just do amazing things in a relationship. I wouldn't want my husband to be just like me. He's very, very different than me, and we balance each other out. He thinks about, he has his own viewpoints and I have my own viewpoints, and yet we respect each other's that each other has their own viewpoints, their own ways of doing things, their own opinions, their own thought processes, and their own personality. And many years ago, when my husband and I first married, I told him, I said, I'm not just like you. I'm me. And we didn't go into our marriage trying to change each other. We went into our marriage embracing who each other was. And a lot of mistakes that I think people make when they get married is that they try to make that other person just like them. But that's not who you married. When we go into a friendship, that person is different than we are. We're attracted to them for their friendship because they are different. We're attracted to their difference. So it's very important for us to realize that everyone has their own unique personality, and we do so much better in life when we embrace them for their uniqueness and for their difference. From my house to yours, may God bless you, and I hope to talk to you soon again. Bye-bye. People who want to drain your energy and people who want to suck you dry. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne. Well, for me, I'm not available to those people. I keep a I'm not available sign up, no availability, no contact. I have all those different little signs. They may not be real signs, but they are signs that I hold in my mind for certain people. People who want to drain my energy, or they want me to do all of their work, or they always have a request from me. Now, I'm not talking about a boss, because often a boss will request from us to do something, but I'm talking about someone who just wants to dump all their problems, or dump their life situations, or have me fix everything, or drain me dry one way or the other. I'm just simply not available. I'm unavailable to those kinds of people. And there are a lot of people out there in the world that will just drain your energy if you allow them to. If you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. So I don't give them an inch. I don't give them any kind of into my life. I put that door up and I keep that door closed to people who just want to drain me, diminish me, put me down, drain my energy, have me clean up their messes in life. No, no, no is my answer to them. From my house to yours, may God bless you, and I hope to talk to you soon again. Bye-bye. Enjoy the journey called life. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne. And I'm just coming on here for a few moments to talk about life in general. So often in life, people put such high demands and expectations on their lives, and they feel weighted down from those expectations and demands. Well, I believe in goal setting. I believe in having dreams. I believe in creating solutions. And I believe that that's an important part of my life. And yet, when I feel weighted down by demands, expectations, goals that I've set for myself, I step back a little bit and I say, why am I feeling this sense of, all this weight on my shoulders, so to speak? And so what I do is I reevaluate and I say, what is necessary in my life and what is not necessary? What should I be doing and what is taking up my time that I really should not be giving time to? And so I begin to reevaluate everything until I bring everything into harmony, until everything is in balance. And so when I feel like that, I just kind of reflect for a while. And sometimes I even slow down and occasionally even stop, just to regroup and refocus. I want to enjoy my journey called life. I believe that life is meant to be enjoyed at every stage of life. I'm 62 years old. I'm in my 60s, and I want my life to be wonderful at 62, 63, 72, 82, 92, and let's hope for 102. And so I believe that we are meant to enjoy life. And, some people say, oh, well, I enjoyed it in my 20s and 30s, but I'm old now, and I'm just biding my time. Well, I don't want to live like that. I want each period of my life to be equally wonderful. It may not look like the same as when I was in my 20s or 30s. It will probably look a lot different and yet be equal to, because every season offers us something wonderful. It can bring challenges, and yet it brings blessings. And so I always am a blessing seeker. I'm always looking for my blessings at every stage of life. And I believe that there's a unique beauty at every stage of life. And I believe that we are meant to enjoy every single stage of life. And it's up to us to create that enjoyment, okay? Well, I just wanted to come on here and talk a little bit about that. And I hope you are enjoying your life. And so from my house to yours, may God bless you. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I hope to talk to you soon. Bye-bye. If we're given one life, we want to make the most of it. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne. Well, this morning I got to thinking about slowing my pace of life. As you all know, I have a lot of good stuff going on. I'm a full-time college student, an hour away, so that means I drive an hour to and from. At 62 years old, I work out every day for between 2 to 3 hours. I have a beautiful family. I am busy. I have a lot of things. I'm an artist. I'm a writer. And yet, I find that for me, it's important to slow down. Even sometimes I have to take some things off my plate of life that are less important. If we put too many demands in our life, we can just get frazzled and all wore out. I refuse to rush. I did another video called Why I Don't Rush, or something like that. And, I don't want to rush through my life, because if I do, I will likely make mistakes, miss opportunities, and also just get worn out. Sometimes when we take on too many responsibilities, sometimes when we take on too many obligations, even good things like me, that it can wear us out. It can frazzle us. It can make us tired. And when we get tired, we cease to enjoy things the way we should be enjoying life. So, for example, I'm getting ready to leave for my classes an hour away. And so when I leave, I'm taking my time. I'm not worried that if I'm a minute late, I likely will not be. I'm usually early. And but even if I was a minute late, I am not going to worry about it because, well, I'm not going to rush. I'm slowing my pace. And I enjoy more. I enjoy the journey, because remember, this is all a journey. And if we're given one life, we want to be happy, and we want to make the very, very most of this life. And so for me, I want to be happy. And so to be happy, I know that I need to be rested, take care of me, and make me a priority so that I can take care of everyone else. And if I'm taking on too much, or if I'm pushing myself in too many directions, or if I'm speeding and racing along in life, often I'm just going to miss out. So I believe in slowing my pace down, taking my time, enjoying my life, enjoying what I'm doing, and not rushing from one thing to the other. I do see people just rushing. And for me, that's not the way I do things. And you know what I also believe? I believe that most things, if we have them written down and we're cognizant about them and we keep a schedule, I think most things get done, if not all. I'm pretty good about achieving my results without rushing. And so I want to achieve great results, to enjoy the process, and I don't want to rush to do it. Because if I'm rushing to do what it is that I want to do, my goals, likely I've taken on too much. So then I reevaluate and I say, you know what can I take off of here that is not important? What did I put on here that I thought might have been important that maybe should kind of move backward a little bit? You know, even some of the things that I've done, you know, that I do, like work out, go for a run, all of that. A lot of those things, I've kind of reduced the amount of time that I do it. Instead of maybe a 3-4 hour workout, it's down to maybe 2 some days. And even some days I skip my run so that I can get all my work done. And yet I still go running most days. So sometimes we have to rearrange our schedule a little bit in order to slow down. But for me, it is worth it. Well, I got to get dressed, got to get going, and I hope to talk to you all soon. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. May God bless you, and I hope to talk to you all soon again. So from my house to your house, God bless you. Talk to you then. Bye-bye. Enjoy your life. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne. You know, so often people will look back upon their memories and go, wow, you know, that was such a great time. I wish I would have enjoyed it more. I wish I would have savored the moment. I wish I would have made more out of it. And, you know, with me in my life, I enjoy every day. I enjoy my present moment. I enjoy where I'm at. I enjoy my life. I enjoy the people that I'm around. I enjoy everything that's going on in my life. And even when I'm having difficult moments, I look for the good in those moments, because life is precious and life can go really, really fast and the years can add up really, really quick. And so I look back upon my life and I cherish my memories, but I cherish my present. I cherish in what I do today. I want to enjoy today and I want to make the most of it. And, you know, just enjoy your life and savor the precious moments. And, you know, like I was talking to my husband today and I said, you know, we've had such wonderful, wonderful memories and we have so many. And sometimes I wish I could go back and relive those memories, and yet we can't. You know, we can only relive them in our mind, because even if we went back to where those memories happened, it's not going to be exactly the same as it was. We get one chance to create a memory, one chance to make it right, one chance to enjoy it. And so I believe in enjoying the journey. I believe in savoring the moment. I believe in taking my time. I believe in loving the people that mean the most to me. Perfection or no perfection, as imperfect as they may be, as imperfect as I may be, I believe in enjoying who I am, no matter how imperfect or how flawed. I love being me. And so I believe in living and enjoying our everyday life and savoring each and every moment. From my house to yours, may God bless you, and I hope to talk to you all soon again. Bye-bye. Why entering an empty room is a good thing. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne. Well, I really got to thinking about if we want to be noticed, if we want to connect with people. I've talked about in other videos called lingering longer, how sometimes if we linger a little longer in a social event, at a job, at a church, you know, in certain places, often we can connect with people after most of the people have gone. Now, if we linger too long, sometimes that's not good, and that's overstaying our welcome, and that can work against us. So we have to know that it's a very fine line to walk when you linger longer. But I also believe in going in first. Often I'll get on YouTube and I will notice that some people only have 1 or 2 people in the live stream. And so I'll jump on and be one of those first people. And often I begin to connect with everybody as they come into that virtual live stream by being the first there, by being in an empty room first, so to speak. Often when we linger longer or show up early, that's the time that often we will connect with many, many new people. When a room is filled up, so to speak, often, we can get lost in that crowd. And so I believe in often going in first and lingering a little longer. That way I tend to meet more new people. So don't think that an empty room is necessarily a bad thing. It can be a very, very good thing for you to meet and connect with a lot of new people. From my house to yours, may God bless you, and I hope to talk to you soon again. Bye-bye. Never an ordinary day. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne, and I got to thinking today about, you know what, there's never an ordinary day. No day is ordinary if you really think about it. Every day is unique and different in and of itself. I hear people say, oh, it was just an ordinary day. Well, was it really an ordinary day? Probably not, because life is always changing. It's always evolving. There's always something new. Now, some people live such ordinary lives that they don't see the beauty around them. They don't see the changes around them. They don't see the opportunities around them. They don't see much of anything around them. So everything looks the same. But there are no ordinary days. You know, opportunities can come on an ordinary day when we're prepared. Life happens on an ordinary day. Life is always changing on an ordinary day. I believe that there are no ordinary days. I believe that every day is extraordinary, and I believe that we are meant to live it with an extraordinary attitude. I believe that every day is an opportunity for growth, for potential, to be our best selves, for opportunity. Some people say, well, there are no opportunities. There's no opportunities out there. I'm stuck. Well, then create your opportunities. Sometimes we have to create opportunities from what seems like nothing. And I believe in every day we can get up and we can do something to better our lives and make our lives wonderful. So there are no ordinary days. There are extraordinary days. From my house to yours, may God bless you. And I hope to talk to you soon again. Bye-bye. Everyone has a history. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne, and I am sitting out here on my screened-in back porch, and it is such a beautiful day. It is so hard to believe that we are having winter time. And I just finished my 5-mile run, and I'm heading for the gym. So I thought I would come on here for a few moments and just talk a little bit about everyone has a history. And by that I mean is everyone does. Everyone has history. And so when we meet a person, all we're seeing is the tip of the iceberg, the icing on the cake, their calling card, but we have no idea what their history is. It takes time, a lot of time, to get to know a person's history, where they've been, what they've been through, what their life has been like, their likes and their dislikes, their personality, and so forth. And it takes them time to get to know who we are. You know, we don't normally run around with everything written all over us, you know, about our history. And so usually people's history unfolds over time as we go into the relationship. Sometimes we work with someone and we gradually get to know more and more about certain aspects of who they are and their life. Perhaps we get to know their work ethic, but we don't know much about their personal life. You know, people often share to the degree that they want to share, and they often keep to themselves what they don't want other people, you know, to get to know, or people to know about. And so I know for me, it takes time to get to know me, and I'm a pretty warm and open person, but you know, there's a lot about me to get to know. And I look at other people and I know that I'm only seeing the very, very surface of who they are. And so I like to get to know people, but I realize that I can't get to know everybody, and that it does take time to get to know people. And so I think it's just important to realize that when we do meet somebody, that they've got a history just like we do. And I know with my husband, we've been together almost 30 years, and there's still things that I'm learning about him, and there's things that he's learning about me. And, you know, sometimes we grow up with somebody, our siblings, our family, so we know a lot more about them. We have shared history. And that's sometimes what bonds us together with other people, is that shared history. And other times when we meet somebody, we don't know all their history, but we begin creating history together as in that relationship. It could be a friendship, it could be a work relationship, it could be a marriage, it could be almost any kind of relationship. But when I do meet people, I always remember they have their own personality, they have their own likes and dislikes, they have their own way of doing things, and they have their own history. Well, I'm heading off for the gym, and I hope you subscribe to my channel, my YouTube channel, and I hope you have a great day, and I will hopefully talk to you all soon again. So from my back porch to wherever you are, God bless you, and I'll talk to you then. Bye-bye. Everyone is special. Everyone has a place in this world. Everyone is special. Hello, y'all. I'm Diana Brianne. Well, we are having a beautiful evening out here, and I'm going out on Grandma's porch for a few moments. It's starting to get a little bit dark, so I don't know how the video will turn out if I stay out here the whole time. But it is just a beautiful, beautiful night and evening. And I got to thinking about everyone is special. Everyone is unique. Sometimes people equate success with finances or educational degrees or smarts or whatever. We call them smarts. We didn't call them intelligence. But smarts is more than just book smart. You can have life smarts, book smarts, all kinds of smarts. You can be a smarty. But anyhow, I got to really thinking about how everybody is unique. And God designed everybody unique. If everybody was a doctor, we wouldn't have a plumber, we wouldn't have electricians, we wouldn't have mechanics. If everybody was a mechanic, we wouldn't have doctors. If everybody was, a millionaire, we might not have dishwashers, and we need dishwashers. There's so many different kinds of personalities, and everybody is gifted with something. And each person has their own unique contribution to the world. Now, some people may look at other people's contributions as insignificant, when really they're very significant, because without those contributions, our world would not run effectively. We need all kinds of people. We need people who pick up our garbage. We need people who work on the road. We need people who mow lawns. We need people who know how to sew. We need people that know how to cook. We need people that specialize in brain surgery. We need people that specialize in fixing cars. We need people who know how to clean house. We need all kinds of people. And so God designed each of those people with certain personality traits and qualities so that they could fulfill that role. We should never think that one person's role is more superior than somebody else's role, because it's not. It's not. We're all human, we're all here for a different purpose, but we're all here to unify and work together as a team. And so often people don't see it that way. They look down on some people because maybe they have a different kind of job than them, or they don't have the same educational background or degrees or whatever. And everyone is special. God put each person here uniquely special to do a certain role. So when I look at people who say, work as dishwashers, I so admire them. It takes a very special person to work as a dishwasher, or to work on a television, or to be an electrician or a mechanic or a housekeeper or a doctor or a baker or anything. Every profession is special. Every person is special. Every person is unique. We're all gifted with something, and we have a special talent, and we should never diminish that talent. I knew one person who was the best listener I ever met. They could listen and really take in what you were saying. That was their gift, the gift of listening. So we all have special gifts. We all have our own gift and our own way of being. And yeah, so remember, everybody is special. You are special. I'm special. Not everybody comes on and does what I do. I do little wisdom mini videos, some people do. But a lot of people do gaming videos, and that makes them special. That's their thing. I wouldn't know anything about doing gaming videos. So that makes them special. We all have our specialty. So just remember that we're all special. And so when you look at somebody, never diminish them because they're special. They're special just like you. And never diminish yourself because you're special. Okay? Well, from my house to yours, from Grandma's porch to yours, from my kitchen to yours, may God bless you all. And I hope to talk to you all soon again. Squishy, 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 squashy, mammogram and eye doctor. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne. Well, I had 2 back-to-back appointments this morning. When you pass the age of 60, you go in for all these tests that you didn't have when you were younger. And I don't like them, but I do them anyhow. So this was my yearly eye examination. And so they had to dilate my pupils with this stuff that they put eye drops into your eyes so that they can look into them better. So they do a glaucoma screening and a cataract screening, which I came out great. Yay! And my vision was 20/25, so near perfect without glasses at 62 years old. My one eye was just a few points off, so it was almost 20/20, which is perfectly normal. And that's without glasses. Now with glasses, perfect. So I had that done. And then I left there with sunglasses because you're supposed to wear sunglasses. And I drove to the mammogram place where they do squishy, squishy in the machines. If, those of you that have had a mammogram probably understand what I'm talking about. And so I do that yearly as well. And I think, a lot of women do that. And I do that as well. And so I had that done. So I had both of my doctor's appointments today back to back. And what was so funny was when I left the eye doctor's, what song do you think came on? I have not heard this song in forever. It was Doctor, Doctor, remember it, Doctor, Doctor, My Eyes, Doctor, Doctor, My Eyes. It was like a 1960s song. It came up, it was like, Doctor, Doctor, My Eyes, what do you see? I mean, I couldn't believe it. As soon as I got into my truck to drive, here on the radio pops up this Doctor, Doctor, My Eyes, what do you see? And I couldn't believe it. Absolutely couldn't believe it. That song popped up. Such synchronicity. And so, yeah, I had both of those done. And I've got to wait about 2 more hours before I leave the house because my pupils are still kind of dilated. And I wouldn't want to get pulled over and then them think I was on drugs or something because I don't do drugs. And so, with big pupils. So that's what happens when you pass the age of 60. You get all these, cataract screenings, glaucoma screenings, pupil dilation, eye doctor's appointments, mammograms, all kinds of things like that. And so, you want to stay healthy, and I want to stay healthy. So I do everything possible to keep great health, to keep myself in great shape and fitness and, eating right and all of that. So I think I'm going to go over to my favorite antique shop, which is really kind of like a thrift store that donates all the proceeds to the local homeless and needy. And then I think I'll go to the gym and do about a 2-3 hour workout, which is kind of normal for me if I have the time. And, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So anyhow, thought I would pop on and give you TMI, too much information. Mammogram, squishy, squishy, and Doctor, Doctor, my eyes, what do you see? From my house to yours. May God bless you, and I hope to talk to y'all soon. Bye-bye. I lost my eyebrows. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne. Well, you all know that I am 62 years old. I'm not 22 years old. It's obvious, and I am 62. And so, we notice changes as we grow older, changes that occur in our bodies, and things happen. And I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and she was talking about the different changes that happen in her body. And her changes were not the same changes that had taken place for me, so I think every woman especially, is different. And so, we all have different changes that happen in our bodies as we get older. So my change that I saw happen as I headed into my 60s was that my eyebrows got thinner, and that I had to start penciling them in. And when I was younger, I didn't have thick eyebrows or anything like that, but I had nice eyebrows. They didn't require any pencil or anything like that. And so it was kind of a shock to me that at age 60, that was the change that I saw taking place in my body that was significant, that I was beginning to lose my eyebrows. Fortunately, I have my own eyelashes, and they're good to go, but the eyebrows got thinner, so I had to start penciling them in, which I don't like. But I know people that have the tattoo makeup, and I don't really want to do that. I know some do, and some really like it, but for me, I just prefer not to do something that permanent. I would rather just pencil them in. So what changes have you noticed as you've grown older, especially for women who are in my age group? Have you noticed certain changes? I know one of the other changes for me is that I have to work out so much harder. Well, I shouldn't say I have to work out so much harder if I don't eat as much, but I can't eat the same portions that I ate when I was younger without putting on weight. When I was younger, I could eat 2 hamburgers and still lose weight. Now that I'm in my 60s, I can almost look at a hamburger and gain weight. And so I really have to be cognizant of what I eat. Even though I work out every day and my metabolism is pretty high, I did notice that is one of the other big changes for me. And so, everybody has changes in their body as they get older. I think that's just a natural part of what happens to people. But for me, those are the 2 most significant changes are, needing to eat smaller portions, and probably exercise a little bit more to burn off those calories, and and penciling my eyebrows in. So, now you know. Women over 60, at least this woman. So anyhow, I hope you're all having a great day. Much love to you, and make sure to subscribe. From my house to yours, God bless you, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Falling in love after 60 years old. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne. Well, I should call it falling in love at any age, because, I believe that people can fall in love at any age. As adults, they can. It can just happen. Actually, I had a relative from many years ago who was well into her 80s, and she was widowed. And there was a man in her town who was also widowed, I guess. He was a widower. Is that right? Yeah. And they got married, and they lived out the rest of their lives so very happy. I think they were in their mid-80s when they met and got married. I know of another woman who is 96 years old, and she's dating a 100-year-old man who still drives the car and comes and picks her up. So, I believe that love can happen at any age, and I think if we're open to it. And I think a lot of people say, well, you know, I'm too old for love, or, you know, love has passed me by too many times, or it can't happen, it hasn't happened before, so it will never happen again. Well, they're kind of closing themselves down to what could happen good in their lives. And so if it came to them, they're not willing to produce the energy and the time to make it happen, because, well, when you fall in love, there's energy that you have to give. You know, when I met my husband, it was instantaneous. Many of you know that story. It was, I woke up that morning, and I always say it was, you know, the Spirit of God telling me that I was going to meet my husband. And indeed, that night, my husband walked in. His plane broke down. We met. It was instant. And the next day, he called me and said, "You're going to be my wife." I mean, how amazing is that? And that's been nearly 30 years ago. And we have had an amazing relationship, but I was open to it. I wasn't looking for it. I wasn't hungry for it. But I was open to it. And I kept myself open to that, you know, to the possibility of finding someone that I truly, truly would be in love with. And I did. And so I think it can happen at any age. And now I'm in my 60s, and we are still madly in love. And things are, you know, it's just, you know, we're in love. And so love can happen at any stage in any age of life. I've seen it time and time again, as long as we stay open to it. I had friends back then when I met my husband who were closed to love, even at a much younger age, because they just didn't think it would happen. And truly, it didn't happen for them. But there I was open to it if it happened, and if it didn't happen, I was very happy with my life. I wasn't out with hungry eyes looking or anything like that. And so I think, you know, when you're a loving person, love tends to find you. And when you withhold love, and when you're negative, I think love has a hard time grasping on. You know, that's my opinion. But I do believe that love can happen at any age and at any stage of life. From my house to yours, God bless you, and I'll talk to you soon. And make sure to subscribe, please. Talk to you then. Bye-bye. Take time out for your family. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne, and I really got to thinking today about taking time out for your family. You know, so many people take time out for everything else but their family, but for their significant other, but for their spouse. They're taking out time for total strangers, and they give that time to total strangers, and they're not giving the right amount of time to their families and the people that truly matter in their lives. I put my family first. Family first. My family comes first. My husband, my children come first. There's nothing wrong with that. I believe that it is right for us to do that. Our significant relationships matter. You know, some people just talk to their parents on the phone once a year. Happy Mother's Day, Happy Father's Day. You know, all the time, I connected with my mom each and every day, even when I lived in Europe. Even when telephone calls were so expensive, we would fax letters back and forth because it only cost us a minute of phone time to do that. We found ways around it to stay connected. We stayed connected no matter what. We always did. I believe in staying connected with the people that we love, doing things with the people that we love, not just going to a movie and sitting watching something else, but connecting. I sit down with my family and I play board games. We play Monopoly, we play cards, we do all kinds of wonderful things. And that is my son calling me right now. Spend time with your family. Much love. From my house to yours, may God bless you, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Family meetings and family sit-down dinners. Family meetings. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne. Well, I got to thinking about having family meetings, whether it's with your spouse, your significant other, whether it's with your kids, whether it is with whomever is important in your life, I believe it's important to come together and periodically have a meeting. It's like a business meeting where we have notes wrote down that we want to discuss and ways to continue to improve our lives. Often families are just running around chaotically and they're not working in unison. And I believe it's very, very important for families and relationships to work in harmony and in unison. And often that means they've got to be on the same page together, or channel, as in this case. And I believe that people who don't sit down and concur with each other what they're doing and their plans periodically, often things just kind of run haywire and run amok. And so for me, I sit down, we have a family meeting about every 2 weeks where we sit down with the kids, and we, even though I have young adult kids, we still sit down because 2 of them live at home. My daughter has her own apartment now, so she doesn't really pretty much join in on the meetings, but at home she can if she wants. But at home, we do, anyone that lives in my home, we sit down and have a family meeting. And my husband and I also have separate kind of meetings together where we talk about other things that are not involving the whole family so much directly. And so I believe it's important to discuss any issues, how we're going to achieve goals, visions, dreams, whether they're small ones or big ones, what's going on with each other in each other's lives, how each other's doing, what our plans are. Let's all get on the same page, have house rules that everybody understands, because you don't want to live in a house that's chaotic and full of confusion and pandemonium, unless it's good confusion, not good confusion, but good chaos. There's good chaos and bad chaos. I don't mind some good chaos, but I don't like bad chaos. And so you don't want any bad chaos. So sometimes having everybody be on the same page and understand can be a very, very good thing to do. So I write it down. I write what I want to discuss. I have everyone write down what they want to discuss. We take turns, and usually how it starts off is either my husband or I will start the meeting off, and we start with our agenda, and then we pass it on to our kids, and they can discuss what they want and bring up the issues, or bring up their goals or their dreams or how they're doing, or whatever. But it's a wonderful, wonderful thing to do. I love family meetings. We sit down at family dinner at night, no matter how late. Sometimes it's very late, like 9:30 at night, because for us all to be together, even if it's just over a bowl of soup, it doesn't really matter what we serve as much as being together and having that time together just to be together. So I find family sit-downs are very, very important too at the dinner table. And like I said, it doesn't have to be an elaborate meal. It could be a piece of pizza or, scrambled eggs or whatever you want to make. But I think it's really important to sit down at the family dinner table as often as possible, and or even breakfast, sit down with each other and connect with each other, be on the same page with each other, have an understanding with each other in your significant relationships. In our jobs, often they have meetings all the time where people come together so that they can be in harmony and unison and discuss any things that they need to discuss. So families, I believe, should do that too. We do. If you don't have children, do it with your spouse. And if you have a business partner, often I believe it's wise to be on the same page with your, anybody that's going to be in your life. So yes, for me, I do family meetings a lot and family sit-down dinners. From my house to yours, may God bless you, and I hope to talk to you all soon again. Bye-bye. take time out for your family. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne, and I really got to thinking today about taking time out for your family. You know, so many people take time out for everything else but their family, but for their significant other, but for their spouse. They're taking out time for total strangers, and they give that time to total strangers, and they're not giving the right amount of time to their families and the people that truly matter in their lives. I put my family first. Family first. My family comes first. My husband, my children come first. There's nothing wrong with that. I believe that it is right for us to do that. Our significant relationships matter. You know, some people just talk to their parents on the phone once a year. Happy Mother's Day, Happy Father's Day. All the time, I connected with my mom each and every day, even when I lived in Europe. Even when telephone calls were so expensive, we would fax letters back and forth because it only cost us a minute of phone time to do that. We found ways around it to stay connected. We stayed connected no matter what. We always did. I believe in staying connected with the people that we love, doing things with the people that we love, not just going to a movie and sitting watching something else, but connecting. I sit down with my family and I play board games. We play Monopoly, we play cards, we do all kinds of wonderful things. And that is my son calling me right now. Spend time with your family. Much love. From my house to yours, may God bless you, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Friends who will keep you on track. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne. You know, I really got to thinking about friends who will keep us on track in life. You know, we all need correction from time to time, or we all need kind of to be detoured. And often great friends can see if we are making a mistake, and they can bring it to our attention. I do that for my friends, and hopefully they'll do it for me as well, because none of us are absolutely perfect at everything. And sometimes we get so busy in life, and sometimes we don't see everything that's going on. And sometimes a good friend who cares about us can see something going on, and they let us know. You know, I have great friends in my life, and I value those friends. And I know my friends would come to me if they felt that, you know, I was headed in a wrong direction, going to make a mistake, or that perhaps I'm not seeing something that I should see. I also do that for my friends. I believe friends are sort of like autocorrect. They correct us in the right way because they love us, they care about us, they want us to do well. And so they'll bring something to our attention that perhaps we are not seeing. Now, just because a friend brings something to our attention doesn't mean that we'll necessarily act on it or go in the direction that they suggest, but they're doing their part by bringing it to our attention. And then it's up to us to make the decision what we want to do. You know, they say who we hang around with directly affects us, and I do believe that for a lot of different reasons. The people that we hang out with have a direct impact upon our lives. Their suggestions, their ideas, their information, their way of behaving, their habits, their choices, all of those things can affect our lives directly or indirectly, especially when it comes to our decision-making process. So make sure you're choosing wisely in your close friendships. And I believe that our friends often, like I said, are like our autocorrect. They will help us correct what we're not seeing, or perhaps a mistake that we could possibly make. Our friends often help keep us in line. From my house to yours, may God bless you, and I hope to talk to you soon again. Bye-bye. Learn to flourish in life. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne. You know, I think most people are just barely getting by sometimes in life. And I'm not talking financially. I'm just talking with their attitude. Their expectations are low. They're stuck. They feel like they can't, you know, make any kind of changes in life. And I understand all that. Sometimes change is very challenging and very difficult to make, especially when you're rooted in certain other situations. But sometimes change is necessary, whether they're small, gradual changes or whether they're large changes. Sometimes change is necessary in order to flourish rather than be stuck. A lot of people are living in complacency. They're not very happy. They're not in a place in life where they want to be. And, you know, we're all growing and we're all developing, and I believe in being content where we are while we're reaching for where we want to go. I believe in embracing where we are at the moment and loving where we are at the moment. And yet, unfortunately, a lot of people are not loving where they're at the moment, and as they're reaching for their dreams. And so I believe that sometimes, you know, people look at other people and they say, I want to flourish too, I want to flourish too, but I don't know how. Well, I think everybody's different and every situation's different, and we all approach flourishing from a different point of view, and what flourishing is for me may be different for you. And so I just truly, truly believe that flourishing is a great part of life, and we ultimately want to flourish in all the important areas of our lives if possible. And so that sometimes comes with the right information, the right decisions, the right choices, and being willing to put the effort and energy forth to make those things happen that we want to flourish in our lives. What we invest time and energy into tends to flourish. What we do not invest time and energy in tends to dry up. So I believe if we want something to flourish, we have to invest the right kind of time and energy into it. From my house to yours, may God bless you, and I hope to talk to you soon again. Bye-bye.